Alrighty, I would like to call the Thursday, October 9th meeting officially to order. Has the Kansas Open Meeting Act been properly provided?
Yes, I can confirm the packet was posted and the required notice was provided.
Okay, thank you. And next up, we got roll call.
Board Member Nelson.
Present.
Board Member Kuhl.
Present.
Board Member Cates.
Present.
Board Member Herman.
Present.
And Chair Freeland.
Present.
So with 5 out of 5 members, we have a quorum and we can proceed with business.
All right, thank you. The first order would be approval of the minutes from our September 11th meeting. Any discussion?
I move we accept the minutes from the last meeting. I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Do we accept the minutes as is from September 11th? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So approved. Moving right along to new business item 3.1.
All right, so our first item today is application CC 25-20, filed by Lumineo Signs on behalf of McCallson Tax and Accounting, requesting approval of a certificate of compatibility to allow the installation of one new projecting sign on the front facade on the west side of South Santa Fe Avenue. And the address for this property is 232 South Santa Fe Avenue. So there are very few historical records about the design and construction of the building at 234 South Santa Fe. The building occupies a lot that has 50 feet of frontage along Santa Fe and is 120 feet deep. The building has a beige brick exterior matching the really closely matching the exterior of the building directly to the north. And there are this building is divided into 3 tenant spaces. So you have Hearing Healthcare Associates, which is the southernmost tenant at 234 South Santa Fe. You have Aromatic Massage, which operates in the middle tenant space, and his address is 232. Then you have the northernmost tenant space, which is address is 232A. And Wellness Financial Planning was the previous tenant, and McCallson Tax and Accounting is relocating their office to this storefront. So McCallson Tax Services is in the process of relocating their office. They are proposing to install one new projecting sign on the east facade facing South Santa Fe Avenue. The proposed sign has a diameter of 4 feet 11 inches, and it is circular and has an area of 19 square feet. The sign is proposed to be located above the entrance to the office, and the proposed sign is constructed out of aluminum with a vinyl logo and lettering reading McCallson Tax and Accounting. In this case, the proposed sign is non-illuminated. So because this property is located within the Business Improvement District, before a sign permit can be issued for the proposed projecting sign, the Design Review Board must review the proposal for conformance with the downtown design guidelines. On page 2, you will find what the design guidelines have to say about signage, and we'll cover those in a little more detail here in a bit. So the applicant in this case is proposing one projecting sign. The building at 232 South Santa Fe has 50 feet of frontage and 150 square feet of sign allowance. Currently, Hearing Healthcare Associates has a 24 square foot projecting sign. There is also an 8-foot sign face above the 238 storefront that is being removed as part of the new sign installation. With the proposed sign and existing Hearing Healthcare Associates sign, this building would be using 43 square feet of the allotted 150 square feet of sign allowance, giving the property 107 square feet of remaining sign allowance. And staff would know when we were working through the application. Never mind. That's for the other sign. The proposed projecting sign would appear to be in scale with the building facade and would help patrons walking or driving down Santa Fe identify the location of McCallson Tax and Accounting and the proposed sign appears to meet all standards of the C4 district regulations. In review of the project for conformance with the design guidelines, it appears to staff the following findings can be made to support approval of the projecting sign. 1, the proposed sign will be coordinated with the overall facade composition. 2, the proposed sign will emphasize the structural elements of the facade and will not cover or obscure architectural features. 3, the proposed sign will not be internally illuminated or backlit. 4, the proposed sign will utilize blue vinyl letters on a white background that would complement and not conflict with the building materials. 6, the proposed projecting sign will be mounted above the existing awning and centered above the entrance into the business. 7, the proposed projecting sign will be easier for pedestrians to read as they are traveling down Santa Fe Avenue. And the proposed sign would conform with the C4 sign regulations. So with that, staff would have the following, or the board would have the following alternatives. 1, you could approve the application upon finding that the proposed sign will conform with the design guidelines. 2, you could approve the application subject to any conditions. 3, you could postpone consideration of the application in order to gain more information. Or 4, you could deny the application as presented. And with that, staff would recommend option number 2 with our standard condition that if anything were to change, the staff would review it and bring it back to this board if necessary. And with that, staff's available for questions, and Megan with Lumineo is here to answer any questions on behalf of the sign contractor.
Hello. Did you want me to give them these?
They have them in their packet.
They do, okay.
Okay, I'll open it up
Hi.
to additional comments from the applicant.
Megan Schaefer, Lumineo Signs. This one is non-illuminated, so I don't know, some of the routing stuff, you like to have them look routed. This won't light at night with the light, the LED. Mounting methods, I put in the top corner. I don't know if that got to your page or not because I realized I didn't get it in the day before. So mounting methods would be that there's match plates, and there would be 4 per match plate going in there into, I guess this one's a brick facade, probably concrete screws. What do they call them? Tapcon or concrete screws, and then they'll silicone anything that they put in. And then this one will have guy wires for extra support.
Okay,
We like them to stay put.
right. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. With no additional comments from the applicant, is there questions from the board? My initial hesitation was, will this be illuminated? Because it's a lot of white.
Right.
We kind of try to restrict that, obviously.
That's kind of what I meant. Like,
yeah.
it's not lit, so,
No, that's
you know.
good. My only, I guess, maybe concern is the readability of the McCall syntax and accounting line. I know there's maybe a minimum type size for
That's
drive-by
just their
signage.
logo, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the recommendation of stacking that to make it a little bigger. Again,
Oh.
drive-by readability is just a concern.
I think we
but-
started out, we actually started with the flipped, like reversed color, because I thought it was going to be illuminated, but they said that's their logo, and you could fill the space a little bit better by taking and accounting below it.
Yeah, I just wanted to note a concern, but not, by no means
Yeah, I'm with
requirement
you.
of changing it.
As a designer, I'm like, okay, we can fill more space, but I think they just had their logo done, and they love their logo, so.
Right. Okay. No final comments or questions from the board? Okay. If not, can I get a motion?
I move that we go with option 2 with the contingency that if things change, it comes back to us if needed.
I second.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve option 2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So approved.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving right along to the second item of the day.
Yes, so item 2 is application CC 25-21, which is also filed by Lumineo on behalf of Bibliophiles Kitchen, requesting approval of a certificate of compatibility to allow the installation of one new illuminated projecting sign on the front facade located on the west side of South Santa Fe. And the address for this property is 228B South Santa Fe Avenue. So similarly to the first building, there are very few historical records about the design and construction of the building at 228 to 230 South Santa Fe. However, this building is unique in the fact that it has been divided into 5 tenant spaces that are under separate ownership. For those of you that were on the board when we discussed cupcakes, it's that similar situation. So in a typical scenario, you have one building that may have different tenants, but is under the same ownership, and then the entire street frontage is calculated for sign allowance. In this case, because it's 5 different tenant spaces, the tenant spaces get credit for their specific frontage. So you'll see in the background section that there are frontages of 13 feet, 13 feet, 14 feet, 14 feet, and 17 feet. Where if it was under one ownership, they would get credit for all of that frontage. So it does limit the total sign allowance for these businesses, but we'll cover that more in staff analysis. But Bibliophiles Bakery is opening at this address, and they're proposing to install one new projecting sign on the east facade facing South Santa Fe Avenue. The proposed sign is the same size as the last sign, but it has a diameter of 4 feet 11 inches and has an area of 19 square feet. The sign is proposed to be located above the entrance to the bakery. The proposed sign is constructed out of aluminum with a vinyl logo and lettering reading Bibliophiles Kitchen, Cakes and Things. And the proposed sign in this case is internally illuminated. So again, because this business is located in the downtown business improvement district, it is subject to review by the design review board. So on page 2, you will find again what the design guidelines have to say about signage. I would highlight A13 and A13.1. If internal illumination is used, it should be designed to be subordinate to the overall building composition. And if internal illumination is used, the system that backlights sign text only is preferred. So again, the design guidelines do not prohibit internally illuminated signs. They just encourage the use of a system that backlights only the logo and text of an illuminated sign. This, as I was discussing, this property is unique from other properties as it's broken down into separate ownership. In this case, let me see if I can find it. In this case, the tenant space at 228B has 14 feet of frontage on Santa Fe for a total sign allowance of 42 square feet. And so the applicant is proposing a 19 square foot projecting sign, so they would have 23 square feet remaining of their 42 square foot of sign allowance. And before we go into the illumination and the suggested findings, when we were reviewing the application, we missed a under awning sign. So this business has an existing under awning sign. You see it at right next to Martinelli's, and you'll also see it in this case. There are a few left in downtown where they're these kind of box signs that sit under the awning. In this case, they are proposing to remove that awning sign and install a new awning sign. Because we missed that as part of this application, we have worked with Megan, and we will re-advertise, and we're going to bring back the second sign to you at your next meeting. And so today you're focused on just the projecting sign, but at your next meeting you'll have a second sign for this business. But just to kind of give you that piece. But according to the plans provided by the sign contractor, the proposed sign is internally illuminated. It does appear, based on the night view or the illumination plan provided by Lumineo, that the sign is fully internally illuminated. Fully illuminated sign cabinets are discouraged in the downtown. Design guidelines and staff would request further information on the sign's illumination method and whether or not the sign has been modified so that only the letters and logos are illuminated. In review of this project for conformance with the design guidelines, it appears to staff the following findings can be made to support approval of the projecting sign. The proposed sign will be coordinated with the overall facade composition. The proposed sign will emphasize the structural elements of the facade and will not cover or obscure any architectural features. The proposed sign will utilize white vinyl letters on a green background that would complement and not conflict with the building materials on the front facade. The proposed projecting sign will be mounted above the existing awning and centered above the entrance to the business. And the proposed projecting sign will be easier for pedestrians to read as they're traveling down South Santa Fe. And the proposed sign would conform with the C4 district sign regulations. So it appears to staff that the board would have the following options when it comes to this application. You could approve the application. You could approve the application subject to any conditions approved by the majority of the board. You could postpone consideration for more information, or you could deny the application as presented upon making reasons for denial. In this case, staff would recommend option 2 with the following conditions of approval. 1 is our standard condition about anything changing, and the first condition would be that the sign cabinet shall be modified so that when illuminated, only the letters and logo are illuminated. And as we stated in the staff analysis, we'd request more information on the illumination from the applicant, but the board can have that discussion. And with that, staff's available for any questions, and Megan is here.
I'm back. Hello. Again, this one's mounted the same way, matched plates, concrete screws, and guy wires also, because it's just similar size. The only difference is that this line's illuminated. So, do you have questions?
Would you mind just clarifying that it will be the logo and text only that's illuminated and not the green?
The green in here right now is showing that the green would light. Kind of, I don't know, there's like Jose Peppers down the street that kind of lights, their color lights. But if that is an issue, we kind of brought that up when we were designing it. But it's a little bit higher price point to do a routed sign as it is to do it this way. So if it's something that you guys want where it's only copy, everything that's white basically showing on here, if that's the only thing that you want to illuminate, we would probably have to do like a block out vinyl on the back maybe as a compromise to the routing price point change. But so far that's what they had wanted, and so we have ways to fix it. We just have to talk to the customer if that's something that you guys want us to do. Yep. But they were kind of hoping with the dark green that it wouldn't be so like it's not a full white face and not quite so overpowering.
Sorry, my mic was muted. I think for an additional helpful context, the design guidelines discourage fully illuminated sign cabinets. How that looks in practice looks different based on the design of the sign cabinet. So if you have the Starbucks sign across the street at the hotel, if you have the Jose Peppers sign, those are signs where yes, they are illuminated, but the overall appearance does not necessarily show a fully illuminated sign cabinet, or I guess the light spill onto neighboring properties is not as as extreme. If you had cases like the previous sign at 1858 Coffee, the Candile sign, there are examples of signs where a white background that's fully illuminated can produce a lot of light spill onto neighboring properties. And so the board, given that it's not it's not permitted, or it's not allowed, the board has some discretion to decide the impact of the fully illuminated sign cabinet. But I just wanted to provide some context. It can be, illuminated sign cabinets can be tricky. So
Their end game was to do not as much white so that it would be more subtle,
Yeah, I see that's a great comparison to the Starbucks sign, similar colors and ratio of green and white. I don't foresee it lighting the whole street from the design. So, I mean, if anybody has any particular,
I
on
don't
that.
think it's an issue. I agree. I think it's already, there's an example of this already, so I think it's fine.
I do kind of worry, though. I think about, like, when Mr. Welsh was here talking about his sign and he's going to fix it instead of asking for a variance. I mean, that's an expensive cost for him. And so I struggle with, do we let this happen when he's probably looking at it, or any business owner saying, well, you made me change, follow certain rules. Why aren't you letting it, make
I do
them
think
follow
that one's a
mine?
little different because his was a white
I
background.
would agree. I would
with
agree. Yeah.
The other colors.
Yeah. I have a quick question. Is the ones at Jose Peppers, I know the one that projects on Santa Fe, do you know if that was made to be, so it only illuminates the letters and logo? Or is it because of the black vinyl that it doesn't really show?
black vinyl is opaque. So if there's a lot of black on it, you won't see the light through it,
Okay.
just from sign business. Black will not
Okay. And then
send
the-
light through it. So if
Okay.
they covered, and they did, most of that face was covered in color or black with bits of white showing.
Right.
Right. So to me, that's kind of this is what we were, I said, maybe it's okay with the green, because it's mostly covered. And that was my comparison, is that most of it was covered. Any black vinyl doesn't let light through because all black vinyl is opaque.
Okay.
So the only time that it might be different is a digitally printed black. So if they don't have enough ink on there, sometimes it can come off as like a really dark gray. But I think everything in Jose's was vinyl. So yeah, I think they did a really good job of making it look routed without having to do that price point. It's just a little bit more. Yeah, but there are always ways around it. So
To answer, it has been a while since we reviewed those signs.
Right. That
So
was like a year ago, I think. right?
yeah, to my no, without going back and looking at the sign permit, I wouldn't be able to
Sure.
talk about it in specific detail. But the black is like, if you're there, the black is opaque and not letting the
Light shine through.
letting the light shine through. That would be correct.
it just really keeps it subtle to cover as much of the white. So
I guess my question would be for the illumination, are the hours into the evening, so it needs that illumination, or is it just for awareness and catching the eye at night? I mean, is it open later, do we know, or maybe not?
I have no idea.
I'm just asking that because I don't know
Yeah,
if
and they
illumination is
may
necessary.
shut it off after certain hours. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. I mean, because I'm kind of with you on, and we want to be consistent, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's hard to, it is a dark green, so it probably won't show, but we can't see it until it's up and lit, right?
Right.
So we're just trying to be,
I'm trying to think
Fair.
of any other sign around here that might have green at night, but
Starbucks, I think it's the only one.
yeah.
it's a dark green, so
Yeah.
it's not a Kelly green, which is a pop of color, So it is one of our darker ones.
Any additional comments on the illumination or concerns, questions?
I'd just go back, I think there's already, and back to Mr. Welsh, that he agreed to do that on his own. It was
Yes.
not like he was forced to do that, other
Right.
than that it was brought back to us to review, and And
Which it was going to be.
right.
Yeah. And
So,
he did it on his own.
Right.
Yeah.
And, but I think in this case, I personally just don't think it's going to be an issue. And it seems like, again, go back, there's already the coffee shop that already has it. And so, anyway, that's just my opinion.
I have a question just on, these are the exact same mounting and shape and everything. Is there a reason for that? Just side by side?
It all
or-
happened to go at the same time,
Yeah.
and that's what each customer wanted a projecting sign, and
Just worked out.
there you go.
Store, basically.
It's a good size, it's not too tiny, it's not too big,
Right.
so we just said, just use the same one. We'll plug in
I think from a designer, my only recommendation, not requirement, would be to center this vertically within that circle. Right now, it's at the lower part of that
Yeah.
circle, so just to center that up, again, just a visual
pull
thing.
that part up and leave cakes and things where it is, and the rest up.
Yeah, just pull everything center. But
Yep.
if we have to drive by it every day, I want to, to make that
Yes.
recommendation.
He's gonna walk by and go, oh my gosh, center it.
The inner designer.
But I forgot to ask on the first one, is there anybody on Zoom?
We do not have anyone from the public on Zoom that I see.
Okay.
I'm here,
Oh, Leslie is with us.
Question.
but I don't have any questions or any concerns.
Okay.
Thank you, Leslie.
Okay.
If I recenter this, do I need to give you an updated sketch?
No.
Like
no,
before we
yeah.
go into production, is
No,
that,
you're
okay.
good. That would be yeah.
That's kind of what we do before production sometimes, is make those little adjustments, but you're right. I see it like glaringly now. So, but we're good if I wouldn't have to.
That's great. Yeah. Generally, if
Checking.
yeah.
Okay, I have one question. So is the white all going to be? Is it all the same material, or is it vinyl on?
It is,
A
I think
background.
this one's a digital print.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's digitally printed.
Okay. So everything will sort of light up the same, not
Yeah.
the green's lit and the white is opaque.
No.
Okay.
No. It'll all illuminate, and we're not gonna have the acrylic showing and then that, because we're digitally printing it, so
Right.
it'll be one sheet,
Okay.
basically.
Thank you.
Okay. Any final thoughts or questions from the board? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
I move that we approve option 2 with the staff recommendation 2, and not staff recommendation 1 about it being modified.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve option 2. All those in favor say aye.
I
Aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that concludes our 2 items for today. Appreciate the applicant for
Thank
coming and clarifying a couple things.
Am I the only one today?
Yep.
Oh, I'm glad y'all came to town today.
All right. Do we have any, looks like we don't have any administrative items or unfinished or other business?
No, we do not have any unfinished or administrative items. We will have the meeting on the 23rd, and we have 2 items for you. Again, one is the second round of the Bibliophile's Kitchen, and the other is for the garage. So,
Maybe this question can remain for next time, but I'll go ahead and ask it. For the second sign, I mean, you mentioned it's redundancy, I understand, but you mentioned the protruding sign that were approved today will be visible to pedestrians. So why the second sign is needed?
So in this case, and we'll get into it more, I guess at the next meeting. So in this case, this was already an installed sign. So that property, and we're struggling with graphics, or I'd pull up a street view to show you, but you have the metal awning. And so if you're a pedestrian walking down that block, you're not actually, I mean, depending on how far you are, if you're right there, you're not actually seeing the Bibliophile's sign, projecting sign, under that metal awning. And so the sign contractor indicated that the applicant wished to retain the existing awning sign. However, they want to replace the unit, and so therefore like the awning sign unit. So therefore it requires a sign permit because there is an installation process to that. It's not as simple as just a face change. And so we're advertising it and bringing it to the board for approval. And when we get to that point, when we get to that meeting, I would invite the sign contractor to share some more information on that. However, from my view of it, if you're walking in, you're not seeing the sign, depending on where you're located under that awning. But
And like I said, I understand the redundancy. You had mentioned earlier that the new sign will be visible to pedestrians. And it's like, well, will it really? Because if you're underneath it, there's that awning.
yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
So, but question for next time. So with no other business and no public in the room today,
We do have Miss Bishop on
Yeah.
Zoom.
Hi, I just had a question. Posey Bella, which was formerly PBJ, located at 110 North Santa Fe, has installed what looks like just a vinyl sign that went above the awning that just says like bright orange, Posey Bella's Discount Boutique or whatever, and they just have it hanging on the building. And I don't recall anything like that being allowed, and I don't believe anything went before you all for that to be put up.
So we will reach out to the business owner to. It looks like they are covering the existing PB&J sign. So staff will reach out to the owner at Posey Bella and have a discussion on whether a more permanent sign is being proposed and will come to this board, or what exactly they plan to do. But staff will we will reach out to them and have that conversation. So thank you
Okay.
for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to thank the Design Review Board for all that you do. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Leslie, for that. And without any other final comments, can I get a motion to adjourn today?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
And in a second, we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.